Hello guys, this is Adam Shadow, and this behind me is the most cost-effective sugarcane farm that has ever been built in Minecraft. As you can see, it's very similar to the farm I designed previously. It is made out of three parts. The field in which you grow the sugarcane, this is in the middle. The harvesters that cut down and collect the sugarcane, and the return stations on each end. But this farm is a bit more complicated because we don't have the luxury of having a solid surface to push the sugarcane on top of. Therefore we have to carry it on these trapdoors, on these harvesters. And these return stations have therefore need to open and close the trapdoors, as you will see right now. You saw that the trapdoors opened to release the sugarcane into the water stream. Therefore these return stations are a bit more complex. I also made a toggle switch on and off for this machine, simply by pulling this lever that tracks this block, and therefore the signal from this detector doesn't go into these two wires. This wire has to be made like this because the trapdoors are in a specific design. As you can see here, there is a gap between them because they are diagonally towards each other. Therefore the redstone torches there have to be placed like that. You cannot just make a solid wire out of redstone. It has to be like this one. There are of course these unmovable droppers, which are very cheap because you can farm all the resources you need for them. Here is a much wider water stream than I showed previously because sometimes the sugarcane tends to fall down right on the edge of this farm. You can also make this out of ice the entire way, but you don't gain anything from doing that, just the items will move faster. Here you can see one of these harvesters on its own. I won't make a tutorial because it's pretty much the same thing as previously. The only tricky thing is how to place these trapdoors. You have to place a scaffolding block, stand underneath it and place it like this, so it can open just like this. You can also make it sideways, but this is not so safe because sometimes the sugarcane might end up like this, and when you open it, it will start to move around. This is a very bare bones design of the return station. This is actually the first design I made for it. You can see it's very cheap, just a detection system, a wire for updating the backup server, and a wire to open and close the trapdoors. This farm is very lag efficient because it extends and retracts one piston for each sugarcane that is destroyed. Therefore the rates can be pretty much up to the maximum size of the machine, because it should not get slowed down by lag. So you can build it into the entire volume of the random things. I will turn off the rain for now. So it doesn't obstruct the vision. So you can make this pretty much from 0 to 256 and up to the random tick range. Horizontally, I would not recommend to stack this farm above each other because there has to be a large gap between these layers of dirt. There have to be 5 blocks between each layer, so these slime blocks don't connect with the dirt and therefore get stuck. So it's not so volume efficient as the melon farm, but in a general sense, in a area, it's very efficient because these machines are very close together. There is only one row of space between them. It is theoretically possible to make the machines go right next to each other, but you would have to use a very specific design for the return stations, and it would be just a bit more efficient and would also cause a lot more losses. So I would highly recommend this design. You can also place a layer of blocks above this, so the sugarcane doesn't get stuck like this. This should actually not happen, because when the sugarcane gets destroyed, here there is always the glass block on top and a leaf block on the side, so no matter how the item will move, it should never get on top of the leaves. You don't need to use leaves, I just use them. In this design you can use any kind of blocks. For example, that is a full cube. So basically solid blocks, glass, and some other non-solid blocks. But if you want to make them 2 layers, you need to use leaves or melon blocks or other unmovable blocks, or in other ways blocks that don't get affected by slime blocks. This on-off switch is not perfect, because when the machine now arrives, the trapdoors won't get open, but the machine will stop, so turning on and off very often is not effective. It's much better to keep it running for a while. As you can see, now the trapdoors won't open, they will open when I start it again. This should not be an issue if you just turn it off and then go outside of the world or unload this, for example on servers, because the sugarcane will not disappear after the 5-minute countdown. Making these rows is very simple. If you don't want to place the water precisely like I did here, you can also always use signs or other blocks that have no hitbox to block the water off. And here you just place a bunch of hoppers to collect the items, for example, or you just stand here. And that is about it for this machine. Thank you all for watching. Please like and subscribe.